Bum, bam, bum, 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 bum. Guilty balls.
I was hoping
Woo.
that theme song would be reminiscent of your glam band days.
Did you recognize it?
No, I didn't. I can't hear you when I'm doing my part.
Oh, so mine was the riff from Skid Row Slave to the Grind. So you're
Nice.
exactly right.
Nice.
I listened to that earlier. So yeah, it was on my mind.
That is sweet. Well, hey, people, welcome back to the Kilted Balls podcast. A few interesting things to talk about today. It's been a long week, it feels like. Feels like this week's been like 2 or 3 weeks. Feel bad that we didn't do any episodes, but I think it was mainly just because we were super, super busy with real life stuff. So it's kind of crazy. Let's start with something from All In for NFTs. So if you remember, All In for NFTs interviewed us, and what kind of started us talking to them recently was they did an interview on the Drivers NFT on the Dapper platform. And so they had done one, listened to their podcast, and they were like, hey, you should get a Dapper wallet. You should really check out these drivers. You know, we're having a contest, blah, blah. So I got a Dapper wallet, checked out the drivers. When they released, I went to go purchase one, and something told me no. So I don't use a penny like Kilted does, but I get my feels. And so I was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I don't know what made me think that. And then I watched it for about 4 or 5 days, and the numbers weren't going up. They weren't selling out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they sold out now, but I noticed that yesterday they did a buy one, get two free deal.
Okay, nice.
So I almost bought one because I was like, okay, now we're talking. It's $200 and I'll get 3. I'm like, yeah. But then I thought, I don't know if I care. So I'm still on the fence with them. I figure I can always buy them on secondary.
Yeah.
Right. So,
well, I mean, it's a different platform, so it's not a big deal. But with so many scams going on, me personally, I don't see myself minting anything unless I absolutely know who it is.
Right.
There was just, I don't know if you saw it on the Uncaged, but there was people were minting, and when you connected to the website to mint, your wallet emptied.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's all right.
Well, that happened. Boss Beauty got hacked today.
Yep, I saw that. Boss Beauty's got hacked.
So they got hacked. Basically what happened is somebody got control of one of the mod accounts. And when they got control of the mod account, they blocked all the other moderators. And they said, hey, we're doing a free drop. Here's the website to do your free drop. Connect your wallet as one of the moderators. And if you connect it to that website, it drains your wallet.
Yeah. So I mean, it's actually, that could have been the same thing that the Uncaged was talking about, but I thought it was a new mint. I didn't realize it. I mean, it could have been, but either way, it was either one or two, very crafty. And I mean, Gary's been talking about it a lot. He's like, I will never have a drop without everybody knowing about it well in advance, like weeks and weeks in advance.
Well, and you know, we have lots of projects that you and I have talked about making with drops, with all sorts of stuff. And one of my things is, I never considered this any other way. So it kind of blows my mind that people fall for stuff like the Boss Beauties. Like, I get it. It's the mod and blah, blah, blah. But if we did a drop, it would be on our Discord, on our Twitter, on our podcast, on an interview podcast. It would be all over. We wouldn't be keeping it a secret drop. Even if it was only for our members, we would want everybody to know what they were missing to get FOMO. So we would make sure everybody knew about it. So this idea like, hey, it's on Discord, I'm going to do this mint because it's a Discord I'm used to. Nope.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, if you want to give me a free drop, you do what Uncaged does and you drop it into my wallet. Or you do like Gary did, so I forget the last one Gary had us mint. But it was like over and over. He must have made a ton of tweets, tons of Discord, lots of videos.
Yes.
You know, like, why would you trust it if it's just one? That's my thought.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to something we've talked about when it's, especially if it seems too good to be true, or like people like Jason brings up, well, it's like if people are being greedy, like, we when I first got the looks tokens, I wasn't sure what it was. I had heard from people on Twitter that they read the white paper and it was fine, but it could have been the people scamming. Like I could have lost everything at that point. And that was me being, definitely irresponsible because I was taking someone, I don't know, I've never read the white paper. Right. I mean, it turned out fine, but there are things out there that aren't like that. And especially now, it seems like there's more and more.
Well, and I waited until you did it.
Exactly.
I was like, okay, somebody I know did it. Now I can feel it. Speaking of Jason, I haven't heard from Jason in forever. Are you guys having combos without me?
No, I was thinking that today that I hadn't talked to him in a little bit. Okay. I know he's been busy. Well, his son just graduated.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I know he's been really busy with that, and a lot of excitement going on in his life.
Oh yeah, that's true. That causes a lot. So the big news I think for Tilted Balls is we've talked about this a little bit, but it's now happening. We are moving the minors all to North Carolina. So This week is the plan for me to load up the minors in the car. So 2 of the minors are going to be offline for a few days, and we're going to drive them down to Carolina and get them hooked up in the warehouse, make sure the warehouse has got the right ventilation, right electrical, right all of that, and get it all set. And as a side trip, we're going to stop by Gen Con and Origins, the game fair in Columbus, Ohio, which neither of us planned on doing. Both of us said we weren't doing it this year, and it just happened that it's going to be the same time I'm driving through. I have to drive through Columbus, and I thought that's dumb to drive through Columbus and not stop.
Yes.
So
I'm flying up. We're hanging out.
Yeah.
The evening, and then a bit on Saturday, and then driving down here.
Yeah. So kind of like VCon, be ready for some TikTok action, right? I think that's our preferred way to to get our message out when we're traveling rather than do a podcast. So
yeah, it's a bit easier.
Follow us on TikTok if you don't. Kilted does lots of really cool updates on there. So
I started doing some of my fish stuff on there to show a little bit of our personal life as well.
Well, and that could turn into a business, right? And so
it is something. It's actually something. Actually, Gina said today, she's like, we're eventually going to have a fish store, and I said, okay.
Yeah,
the warehouse can easily be a fish store.
It shows how we think compared to how normal people think, right? So we monetize almost everything we do accidentally, right? Like it's just kind of how we're programmed, right? From either our upbringing or our training. And I think doing TikToks on the fish is a great thing because as you open it into a business, people can be like, oh, I see the path that they did. So yeah, that's super cool. I think, and I'm excited. And I told Amy I wanted a fish tank and all the girls want a snake. And I said, let's get an eel. And sent them the picture of your eel and stuff, and they're like, "No, we want a snake."
You wanted that.
So
I mean, and yes, there's something good and bad about the box stores, about the big box stores. I mean, we get some of our betas from the big box stores, but right now you're starting to see a lot more corn snakes and king snakes, at least down here. Of course, they always have bearded dragons. If you guys are considering something,
we really want a bearded dragon, Corin. I do. We've wanted one for a while.
Yeah. So I was in Missing Link in Concord. Is that in Concord, North Carolina? So it's a fish and reptile shop. And I think I told you they had that green tree monitor.
Yes.
So I went back in there this last weekend and it had a price tag on it. For only $1,000, you can have your very own green tree monitor.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of green tree monitors.
Bad.
So I'm not surprised.
No, it's awesome, but yes.
Well, talking about things that are kind of too expensive to just go buy, I was introduced to a new platform, which I realized today while I was doing stuff, that this platform, while it has NFTs, is not an NFT platform. So then I'm like, crap, because I was looking at it going, man, they've been around for a few years. And then I thought, wait, this is actually doesn't have anything to do with cryptocurrency. So
really,
well, yeah, kind of. So you might want to shut your door behind you.
yeah, he
But
just crawled back there. Ollie, just get up and go. No, I know, but you've done it like 3 times.
So anyway, when we were at VCon, I don't think we talked about this a lot. There was a booth there for Rally.
Yes.
And I don't know, like it's always just called Rally. And the problem is if you just type in Rally, there's 1,000 things named Rally. Right? So for our listeners, the gist of Rally is they do collectibles that a normal person can't afford, and they sell shares in that collectible. So let's say you wanted a Michael Jordan rookie card in mint condition, and you're like, I don't have the money to buy that. They'll sell shares for like $10 a share, have 1,000 people do it, and then they can pay 10,000 for the rookie card, and then they've got it there. And you can sell your
Michael
share.
Jordan rookie card.
No, but you know what I mean.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. But so anyway, that's the kind of thing that they do. And it came up at VCon because what they did is they partnered with Gary Vee for a VCon original NFT, VCon Viper, and they did it through Rally. And so anybody who was at VCon got at least one share of the VCon Viper and could have bought more.
Okay, is it the NFT and the original artwork? I thought it was just the original artwork.
I think it's both, but I'd have to look at my portfolio.
That's fine. That's fine. I was just asking.
But because we did that and I got that free one, now I get stuff from Rally all the time. And I was really interested in Rally because like one of the things Rally has is a Triceratops fossil. And I love Triceratops, and they have it there on display, right? And so you could buy one of the shares of that. And so today they sent an email, because they send an email when things are coming up, and they said, listen, we're going to do a Beeple, and we're doing Beeple shares, and they're going to be $5 each. I'm like, $5? That's not much. Well, then as I'm reading the thing and it says, and I didn't realize this, like I had already planned on buying one, right? So I'm already like logging in and stuff. And this isn't the point of the story. By the way, sorry, listeners, it's a long story. But further down, it said, if you do this, we'll give you $5. So you basically got a share of Beeple for free. So I'm like, sweet. And now I realize this as I'm on the website and I'm buying this Beeple share. And I'm like, maybe I'll buy one, maybe I'll buy two. And you're talking $5. Right. You can't like go to McDonald's right now for $5, right? So I'm like, okay, I can get a share of a Beeple for $5. Yeah, I'm doing that. And then I'm like, maybe I'll do 5, maybe I'll do 2. I don't know. Like that's not a lot, and it's connected to your bank account because it's not crypto. It's going with dollars. And so I'm like, oh, I'll use that. I'm like, I'm going to look at that website again, the email, and it said, oh, you get one for free. And I go, okay, I'm just going to get 2 and get one for free and one that I paid for. Well, the code didn't work that they gave you. And I was like, oh, shoot, the code. And this is the point. I love companies that are responsive to you. So when I first logged in, forgot my password because we did it at VCon, did my password reset, super easy, super simple, got in, saw my portfolio, started to buy one. I emailed them and said, hey, this code isn't working. Can you help me out? Went back, bought 2 shares because I'm like, I was going to buy it anyway. I didn't care about getting a free one. So went and bought it. They emailed me back and said, here, try this code, see if it'll work. And it did.
Nice.
So within like 5 hours, they responded to me, did it. And then I used that $5 to just buy another share of the Beeple.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And if you're on YouTube, I will show you the Beeple that I bought a share into. And when I did it today, there was only like 20% sold. Like it hadn't really gone public yet.
That's awesome.
But isn't that an awesome Beeple?
That's super cool.
Day 4,917.
That's super awesome.
Yeah, I love it. It's into the ether. For those of you who aren't, it's like two space people looking at a Ethereum symbol on a planet. And it's, artist notes say down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, when I got on tonight to do this, I'll click off of this, I think. Maybe I'll off. It looks like my screen froze.
I was gonna say, did you get your Triceratops yet?
I came so close to buying one today because it was actually not very expensive. So there's only 7% of these beeples remaining.
Okay.
So
down there.
I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I like Beeple. He's an NFT guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm like, having a share of his artwork is good. And so if you're like, well, yeah, but how do you make money? Well, first off, as we talk about all the time, I wasn't buying this to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I was buying this because I want to say that I own a Beeple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I only own 3 shares of it, but I own 3 shares of it. So, but if you're wondering how, if they ever sell the Beeple, they distribute the money based on the shares.
Okay.
And they would only do it. You can buy anything on their site and you can make them an offer for the entire thing, right? So like there's a 88 NES Contra.
I saw that 70K, did it say?
Right. So I imagine if you said, hey, I'll give you 80,000 for that, they'd probably say yes, split up all the profits among their people.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing they do though, is you can sell these after, I think it's like 90 days.
Okay.
You can sell it on the secondary. You can let people buy it. So like right now, if you wanted to buy, the Triceratops skull. So the Triceratops skull right now is worth 238.8 thousand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you click on it, you've got a bid for one of the shares. And so the shares right now are going for $21.
Okay.
So you'd have to bid 21 and it would view all the bids and asks and, and so the thought is, let's say in 5 years, the price of Triceratops skulls double.
Yeah.
Then, your shares are worth $40.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So it's either by selling it or the shares going up. But the reality is like, I would just like to say I own a share of a Triceratops skull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's legit.
I think that's $20. Cool.
$20 is, you can go out and spend an extra $20 on a couple drinks. Easy. You
and I did that.
Yeah.
Right. We went out, spent $20 on drinks without even thinking about it. And while the drinks were nice and the company was nice, I'd still have the Triceratops skull if I'd bought it then.
Rather than 2 hours later, you had nothing.
2 hours later, I was keying it all out right then. So yeah, so that is my Rally thing. So if you're interested in stuff like that, check out Rally. I've been really happy with their experience. I was really happy with the support I got. So I wanted to give Rally a shout out for
what's the website?
That good support. It is app.rallyrd.com, I believe is the site.
Okay.
Let me click. I'm on like a different spot. Yeah, app.rallyrd.com.
Okay.
When I click their homepage, that's what comes up.
Yeah, I need to connect my bank account to it because I didn't do that at VCon. I just got my one. So
and they have things like there's a Bored Ape here, right? So like I said, they do have NFTs. So they have a Bored Ape on here. It's Bored Ape. Holy cow, that's Seth's Bored Ape. No, it's not. It's not. I'm just teasing. Wouldn't that be hilarious? But the Bored Apes right now are going for $7.80 a share, which they're up. They originally were sold for $5 a share, right? So that Bored Ape now, if you wanted to get in, you could get in for $7.80, and whoever bought it at $5, they've made 50%.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so awesome. They did pretty well. Yeah, and that is Bored Ape 91.59, and they're doing the other NFT, which is 91.59 as well. So speaking of Bored Ape, did you read the email or the Twitter thread I sent you?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts? Do you want to describe it to us? Or
so I had seen part of it. I didn't read the whole thing at first, but I read it when you sent it to me. Okay. So the gist of it, and correct me if I miss anything, you know how I read and comprehend compared to you.
Yes,
So,
yes, you're very good.
so it sounds like this person somehow, or another person, they found a hack or something to be able to access Telegram accounts. And so they were
Which
saying,
I have no experience with Telegram at all. Do you?
yeah, a little bit. When I first joined Lifer, it was on Telegram.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
I mean, it's almost like Discord, but not as good, I would say, which is
Okay.
why not a lot of people are on it. But anyways, they found some hack where they could read everyone's telegrams. So, and apparently this is only and this is my point, this is only the crypto world. So government officials don't do stuff like this, or I come from the show world. It doesn't happen in the show world. There's no funny business. And so basically they're calling from what this person said, a lot of people were doing a lot of shady stuff. And they were saying it's big crypto influencers to tiny crypto influencers, everything from rape and murder and rug pulls.
Yeah, did you see assassinations? It was like not one, not two, 3 assassinations outlined in Telegram. I'm like,
yeah. So, and yes, if people are doing wrong stuff, hopefully they're held responsible. This is going to come up in the next few weeks of our nation anyways. If people are doing wrong stuff, I don't care where you stand on it, you need to get in trouble. So let me get, so if these people are doing it and they can prove that that's who it was, and these people are doing these things, they should be in trouble.
yeah,
Just like Elon Musk is calling out the SEC because there's a ton of shady stuff going on. So that's getting blown up right now because they're doing shady stuff. Like, just because they're the government officials, they shouldn't be allowed to break rules and do things that
yeah. Aren't they getting ready
illegal.
to investigate Binance now?
Yeah, they're going after all sorts of crypto people, but it's nice to see Elon attacking because people will pay attention to what Elon is saying, and it's not just and yes, okay, so and I jest at first because there's, unfortunately, anywhere where there's people involved, there's going to be shady stuff going on. I come from the show world. If you're traveling around the country working from city to city, there's probably a reason for that. I mean, I felt like an outlier that I really didn't have anything going on. That, I mean, I could have worked at home, but still, I was one of those people. And so shady stuff happens. Shady stuff. There are government officials who are being looked at right now because they were doing stuff with underage kids. Yes. It's not just people in the crypto world. And I mean, as a noble profession, being a teacher, I mean, teachers never do anything wrong, right?
No,
you don't
never.
So, I mean, it's the article was written like it was just the crypto world, which is what irritated me. I'm like, okay, but they have a timeline where they're releasing all this stuff, and hopefully, if people were doing those things, hopefully they get punished and something comes of it.
Well, and the big thing is like it's a whole bunch of influencers and it's projects, and like projects where they purposely were rug pulling or purposely pumping a project to rug pull, which people have said that already, right? Like Ashton and Mila were accused of that with Stoner Cats, right? They were like, you're just pumping this to do a quick money grab, which turned out not to be the case.
Exactly.
Right. But that's what he's saying, like some of these things. And he said they're doing it with altcoins too. And my worry for our crypto NFT world is, true or not, right? That if this guy releases something like, say, about Bored Apes, and he shows that they're just doing the ape coin for a money grab and that they did all of these different things, which first off doesn't make any sense because there's nothing that's been promised for any of these things, but maybe he has messages that show that there is. And that's going to make the recession and the bear market worse.
Possibly. And that's something very, very true. And also, if you look at, I mean, how many coins are there? Are there 10,000 coins?
Sure.
So, if there's a handful where people are doing shady stuff, it's going to happen. If it's a handful and it's in the top 20, that's different.
That's different. I would say out of those 10,000 coins, 50% are shady minimum.
That's
50%.
Very well right? Could be.
People just trying to do quick money grabs because, there's nothing. It's hard to do things real.
Doge, Elon, Mars, Moon.
Yeah.
Naked Bunny coin is not real.
Yeah. Well, and there's other projects that are just like, they haven't thought it out. And so like, are they doing something wrong? No, like you're allowed to sell people stuff that's not thought out.
Yes.
Right. And like the one that came up today is we obviously are big into NFM, the non-fungible miners. There's another one that just came out and I haven't looked at it yet. What is it called? Like Atom Miner or something?
I have no idea.
It's basically following, I think, what NFMs are doing. Like they're trying to be NFMs.
It's probably someone who got mad that they weren't paying attention.
Right. But they don't have the infrastructure to do it. So they're doing all of this stuff to look like NFMs. And people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm getting into this miner because NFMs, right? Like NFM said, we're going to start paying out within X amount of time. And the community voted to stretch that into January. Yeah. So we're talking about that by January, they could bail.
Yes.
And everybody would be like, well, shit. Right? Like it would suck, but it's 6 months away, 7 months from when we bought. It's like, what the heck? But the new company could be doing that same thing.
Yes, exactly.
The reason why we trust NFM, for those of you who don't know, is they're fully doxed crypto mining operation already. They already exist and they're fully doxed. So we know where they live, right? Like it's not like there's somebody we don't know. But this other one, like they don't have the infrastructure. So they're saying they'll do all of this.
Well, I mean, even do they have as much infrastructure as we do? I mean, we have 4 miners, so we could do this.
Well, and after this weekend, when we set up those 4 miners, we may set them up and be like, hey, look, we could do another 8 or 10.
Yeah, right? That's one thing that you and I are going to look at and evaluate. So
we could make like whole power banks in there. Like we'll see. But anyway, like things could grow.
I see what you're saying. And you never, and when it's almost like the Me Too projects. Like yes, and Me Too is a great way to do. You can really do Me Too stuff, but I think in the NFT world, the Me Too's are almost like a joke, personally.
Yeah, but some of them sell.
They do. They definitely sell.
They do.
I mean, there's the funky apes, something that look just like the Bored Apes.
Yes.
I own one. It's just a yellow background. I bought it just for the heck of it because I thought it was funny.
Right. And so those people who did it made a ton of money, right? And so, and so that's the scary part about this. Now, as far as it creating FUD, there was somebody on the Uncaged who was like, yeah, so with everything else and with this, I'm liquidating all my NFTs. And I'm looking at it going, maybe I should liquidate some. Like I don't have that many anyway, but like say Fame Ladies, I wouldn't turn $1 profit, which is okay, but I would turn an Ethereum profit.
Yeah. What are they? What's the floor right now? 2?
Last night they were 0.12.
Okay.
Right. And so I think I bought some of them for like 0.08.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I could turn a few of those. Now, do I think they're one of them? No, because they already took it over.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it came out that Bored Becky was trying to host orgies and that's why she's pregnant with an orgy, like I wouldn't care. Like we're degens for a reason, right? Like I'm like, it's literally the name of the club is the Degens. So
yeah,
I'm like, you're not going to do worse than already happened to Fame Ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, I honestly, I was thinking of this earlier because we had just talked quick about the article and we wanted to have it be organic on here. But I don't necessarily think that was FUD in my opinion. I think it was someone was presenting some information. Now, if it's real or not, that's yet to be determined. And if it's not real, then yes, it's FUD. They're trying to do that. But if it's real, then yeah, I mean, I'm in for the long haul, so I don't think it's going to kill anything.
No, I think it'll just extend the bad market. Mm-hmm. Now, if it came out, see, here's the thing. I'm trying to think of influencers that would matter to me personally, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, what if it came out that Gary was doing this? I'm like, nope. Like yeah, exactly. You're not going to find anything. Like Gary already did 1/3 of what he promised.
Yeah, you're not going to find any. I would be shocked. I think a lot of people would be shocked. We feel like we know him as a person, and I believe that I do, and I don't think you're going to find any dirt on him.
No, and even if you found, he set this all up to be a rug pull, he already delivered.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to give you 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, right. I'm like, come on, like that thing's going to say. My worry is that other groups may have, and that will cause a cascade to make everything drop a little bit. In other words, the bear market will last longer. Mm-hmm. But my thoughts the whole time were, well, maybe I'll be able to get something cheap.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I look at things like even some of my things that are zero. I'm like, okay, gas is low. Do I want to add some of these things? Do I want to pay? And actually, I clicked on a couple of them, but the gas was a little high. I didn't want to spend $5 on an NFT than $30 on gas.
Right.
But I'm eyeing some of those. Some of those are fun. Some of the pictures I like, and if it's one where in the future Gary or someone decides to bring back, and I'm sitting on a few of them, cool. Yeah. If not, then I have it, and it's part of my story. Although, have you bought any NFTs recently?
I have not. No.
Okay. So I want to do a quick advertisement here. So I want to give a shout out to Vivint. They are
can you spell that one?
Vivant. They're a home security.
Oh.
So we had this kid come and knocks on the door. So okay, answer, and then Gina goes over and is talking to him. So first off, she's not very happy with the current people who do the security system.
Okay.
Like just troubles. The people come in to try to fix it. The thing is all in Spanish. We can't access anything. It's just ridiculous. Every time they come in, something else is wrong. So anyways, so that was enough for her to kind of listen. And the kid seemed all right, like sputtering a little bit, and then like, hey, if you hear and like it's not for you, just tell us to leave, we'll leave. He's like, I got to get my manager, blah blah blah. And we're just hanging out. We're like, okay, go get him. So they both come in.
Your house?
Yeah, he's knocking doors, like hardest sales job ever, knocking doors, in my opinion.
Super cold call.
Yeah, I mean they asked me what I did, which is always a tough question because in real life, I don't like you. I don't like to answer. I have fun. I do whatever I feel like doing.
Right.
I told them I sold sheets. And so that's why, the driveway looks like it does. But anyways, so we start talking, like we go through and we end up getting it. We're super happy with it. But both of those guys and the installation guy, they were amazing. I don't know if we just got lucky, but my experience with them, I want to give them a shout out on the podcast here. So
you're cranking me up because you started this by saying, hey, have you bought any NFTs lately?
So the reason the reason I give this shout out is because they're actually from Louisville. The NFTs come up and the kid who knocked the door said, hey, I have a party horse. And I was like, oh, what's that? And so being in Louisville, they, Kentucky Derby and all that stuff. They're into horses. So I guess, and this is just what he said. I didn't look into it. I just went and bought one. But he said that you can get bourbon with this party horse. Like they give you heads up on stuff like that. So they'll send you bourbon and have parties and things like that. So I ended up getting it was 0.1, I think. Yeah,
All right.
0.1 ETH. So I was excited about that. If I get some bourbon, it'll be fun. Mine is green. He's got like a
Now I
sweater
see
on,
the
a vampire
connection.
teeth.
Now I see the connection.
So yeah.
I'm
But
still
wanted
not
to
sure
give
if I
him-
understand why somebody would upgrade their security system when they're about to move, but
We still
I
have to
get the
build.
NFT
We
part.
still have to build. It's like, how long does it take to build the house?
I don't know, like a day. I mean,
long
when I'm
time.
doing it on Gala, it doesn't seem to take that long.
Yeah, it takes a long time. I've heard it's a year just to get Windows. Once you figure out what Windows you want. That's
seems
not
like a
Windows
long time.
98. Yeah.
I was like, I can just go to Best Buy and get Windows. I don't
So yeah,
understand.
I picked up the NFT. I was all happy. I sent him a message, told him thank you, and so yeah, it's fun. Well, I'll let you know if I get some bourbon. And speaking of, hopefully the Johnny Walker will be delivered before you're down here this weekend.
Oh my
That
gosh,
would be amazing.
that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? We could drink some of your Johnny Walker. I would totally
Mhm.
drink some of that with you.
So if not, Matt opened up. This is us nerding out now, friends and family and lovers of the show. So I was playing D&D yesterday, and Matt said he had some of this scotch that was super smoky, and he was not excited about it. And so I was naturally excited about it. And he had some at his friends, and he opened up his bottle, and it was awesome. It was super smoky, almost like that stuff I got you from the best of my memory.
Yeah.
So he offered to sell it to me. I told him to leave it there, and that when we go there on Monday, we'll have some if the Johnny Walker Blue doesn't come in.
Nice. That'll be awesome. That's super exciting. Yeah. That's going to be a good trip. We're going to have a good time, I think.
Yeah, and disc golf Sunday morning, so bring your discs.
I would not travel without my
That's I figured, but just making sure.
Yeah, that's just silliness. So I didn't bring them when I went camping because I'm like, I never play every time I bring them.
Mhm.
And then I was like, saw a course. I was like, I would have played. So darn it. I wouldn't have played anyway, but I still was like, All right. Is there anything else? I think we should probably wrap it
I
up.
think that was pretty awesome. That was, if you made it this far, good job.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
you
much
and
for
love you.
lasting with us in our battle. Yeah. And for me, by the way, I'm hoping that after we get together, that I'll get back into investing in crypto. I think I want to take advantage of the
Awesome.
bear market, and it's just going to be figuring all of it out again and getting back on Trading View. And
I've been scooping up. I've been adding XRP and ADA both to my long-term holds. And actually, I was going to add ETH, but I ended up buying ETH3L. Just because I'm like, well, it's I'm going to keep it for the long term anyways. So if something happens where I have to sell it out, then I'll be fine. But I might as well triple my ETH as opposed to just buying ETH and having it sit in my wallet. Right?
Yeah, no, I think so. I don't think that's a bad idea. So
that's what I figured.
All right, people. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned this weekend for lots of updates from us, probably a lot of shenanigans. So hopefully you'll be seeing some awesome things. This is Ballbuster signing off.
The Dragon Jerry, love you all.